Hi everyone, we're back in the studio. We're on the block today with AJ Sabbah, straight in from New York, California. Which airport did you take this time?
No, I flew in from LA this time.
LA.
Yeah, I'm from California.
Cool. It's great to have you back, AJ. You know, we've known each other for a long time now.
Yes.
In fact, last time we were on a podcast together was in LA.
Yep.
In the American Faith podcast, organized by you and Pastor Phil.
That's right.
And that was really cool. That was a cool experience. I mean, I was there just to celebrate my birthday, but then everything just magically happened.
Yes.
And you were kind of the orchestrator behind that whole trip. So, you know, we're not just, you're not just an advisor to the block. You're obviously on our board, but you're also a good friend. And obviously that's why when I was going to LA, I was like, first of all, it was my first time. And second of all, I was going to spend it with you, which is what's going to be even better. It's always better to travel somewhere where you know someone local and they can show you around. But what I didn't expect was that we were going to have so many good business meetings in a week. And I just wanted to go to kind of have a rest.
Yeah, I know.
But then that trip ended up into a full-on business trip, and everything just happened by accident. Yeah. And it was incredible to see. I mean, from the moment we came, you remember from the airport, we started seeing all these signs from nature. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that, and maybe what you're doing over in LA and how it comes that you know everyone literally?
Well, I was born and raised in Southern California. And then, so I just have a massive network and family there, and some amazing business partners, and that's, and I've known you for years, and it's very important to be around how they always say, right place, right time. They leave out right people. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very important to find your tribe, find the people that you click with, have similar vision, outlook, and everything. So I was very excited when you came, and I didn't tell you everything that I was cooking and planning. Some things just happened, like you were talking about, naturally, and that's the point. When you're around the right people, certain things just open up. And so like when you came, I know it was your birthday, we were gonna celebrate it, but we ended up meeting and hanging out with so many people, and I am very, very excited about you heading the block. And I'm very grateful that you decided to put me on the board. You and the founder, Farbood, he's a great guy. And I just believe in the vision. I think it's great. And also, there's a lot of people in the US want to come to the UAE and potentially build or even just speak or learn or just figure out what's all the buzz about the UAE, because they're doing it right here. It's safe, it's clean. They're always looking towards the future, and I'm kind of a nerd about that. I'm like always looking ahead, trying to see what's next, and that's why I got involved with crypto. That's why I got involved with I missed the tech bubble, but I wasn't gonna miss this bubble. So when you came, it's just stuff started to line up, man. It was great. California loved you just as much as you loved it. I'm telling you, everybody was happy to meet you. Pastor Phil thinks you're an amazing guy, and anytime there's anyone that ever thinks about doing anything in the UAE, it gets sent to you. And so for me, it was just like, okay, let's get Danosch over here. He's coming for his birthday, but we're gonna have some meetings together, and we can go into more that, but it was great.
Yeah, I mean, look, we met with some really cool people. Yeah. One of them is obviously David Meltzer. For those who don't know who David is, basically the movie Jerry Maguire, the guy that says, "Show me the money." He's a sports agent, and it's a really cool movie. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it. So that movie is based on actually David, on his life, and he's kind of the inspiration for that character.
Yes, he was the CEO of Sports One agency, and which was the largest sports agency in the world, and so that was like one of his agents, and he's very, very plugged in to obviously sports, but he's plugged into the business world, He's a life coach, he's a friend, he's a mentor. And I actually met him here in the UAE. That's crazy, because we're both from California, born and raised. I think he grew up in San Diego. I grew up more inland, and then I lived in San Diego, but we never met until I think it was like a Sigma event here a few years back. And I was shocked. I was like, wait, who is this guy? And then he looks familiar. And then we connected, and he said, hit me up when you come back to California. And I was like, okay. And then we became friends, and we've partnered on some projects together. We've done some shows together. And he knows that I'm pretty excited about UAE and the block, but not just that, but just the overall like Web3 space here in the UAE. And so I'm just like that guy for him now. And it's good. It's a pleasure to say. I don't think it's been talked about, but he's officially signed on with the block, and it's an incredible guy. And so we'll be doing more partnerships with him in the future.
Yeah. He's funneling a lot of deals to us, and it's very appreciated. Now, you mentioned previously that you said you missed the tech bubble and you didn't want to miss the next big thing.
Yeah.
So how did you get into crypto blockchain, and why do you believe it's the next big thing?
Well, I really took a deep dive in the beginning of COVID. Before that, I was just dabbling around. I used to work for SolarCity/Tesla Energy, and then that job and that entire industry got gutted. I shouldn't say completely gutted. I'm saying it was no longer like profitable to work there.
What were they doing? They were doing solar panels?
Solar panels, energy, batteries, residential and commercial. And I was pretty darn good at it. I was #1 in the state at that time, in the state of California. And so I'm really, sales guy.
You're a good sales guy.
Yeah, I'm a sales guy, but I kind of have to believe in it, If I believe in it, then it's a pretty easy sell. And then I was also, I did training I trained the consultants how to sell it, because there's a way to do it without being sleazy and without being manipulative.
Yeah.
So I actually call it the process sale. I don't know if I feel like I made it up. I
mean, you should become a sales consultant.
I was doing that essentially for Tesla, but so yeah, I'll get to the crypto thing in a second, but the process sale, because the majority of business is done where you don't get the item or you don't get the product, and sometimes the service, you don't get it until a certain point. And so the people sometimes when they're purchasing, they don't know the process it takes to go from initial assessment to product on top of your canopy, your building, or whatever you're trying to put energy on. And so I could just see that the client is confused with a big question mark, like, what is this going to take? How long is it going to take? So instead of me focusing on the sale, I focus on the process of that sale. And I focused on, you're going to be dealing with this at this point. We're going to have a surveyor come check your rooftops and all this stuff. Then we'll contact the energy companies to do that. And I literally put them through the entire process to where at the first meet, to where the actual thing we're trying to sell is secondary. Because if you think about it, especially for Tesla, most of the time people want it already. They just want to know if they could afford it and it makes sense to them. And so I came up with this thing called the process sale. And I just sit down, show them, write it out, and you just have to follow through. You just have to follow through during that process. So it just got a lot of people to feel very comfortable, and it really messed with the competition, because the competition comes in with those hardcore sales tactics, and to me that annoys me personally. So I didn't want to do that. I don't want to be a hardcore, very pushy salesperson.
Vacuum cleaner sales type of guy.
We don't want that. We don't want that. And especially if you just look at the product or whatever you're trying to sell, look if there's a process to go from A to B, and because most of the time people can change their mind in the meantime. But where do they change their mind or cancel? During the process. So because they don't know or they were blindsided. So I just showed them, and then that just worked. And it was incredible. I was doing great, and then COVID happened, and then it was no longer. He wasn't hiring consultants like that anymore. It's more, if you want solar or you want some sort of batteries, you just call in and work it that way. So, which makes sense because it was very costly. So during that time, I went back home, jobless, and kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. And then it's been dawning on me about crypto. Crypto is to me like the itch I couldn't scratch. I was trying to figure it out. I watched every darn YouTube about it, and most of the time it's just shilling. Most of the time it's just buy this token. And then I realized there was no real education.
Mm-hmm.
So
shilling, for those who don't understand, means someone trying to pitch you something or sell you something.
yeah, literally, like they have their own project, they have their own token, they make it look educational, but really they're pushing a project that they want you to buy. So I needed education. I didn't need it to be sold. I just needed to learn. And so as I was learning, I got led to X, and X, Twitter at the time. I had 0 followers. I didn't know anybody. I've had my account since 2009, like one of the earliest ones, but never used it. I turned it on and I just started following crypto accounts. And then I learned about Spaces, Twitter Spaces, X Spaces, and then that I could listen into people speak on specific subjects. So, and the subjects were crypto I would try to find. Now, I didn't realize I could request to speak, and it was really cool. So I requested to speak, and I would ask some crypto questions, and then I got thrown out of the room. I mean, because you could look at each person's account, 0 followers, clearly I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm talking to like some Bitcoiners that don't even like any other crypto except Bitcoin, so they threw me out, which made me upset. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, let's figure this out. So I started hosting my own spaces, and then my journey began in media from that. So, and then with crypto, I just could see that it's a future, it's a big piece of the future of finance. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can buy, we can sell, we could transfer, very little to no fees at all. We can do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it just really felt like the old system and the old ways at some point will be expired, and that this will take over. Now, at that time, years ago, that was not the case. That was not, actually, crypto was frowned upon. It was being attacked by government. It was being attacked by politicians that had special interests in other areas. It was being attacked by just the social mindset of crypto was, if you talk about crypto or even like crypto, you're a scammer. Mm-hmm. And so we had a big fight, just for the idea of crypto being in our day-to-day. So I'm grateful we're here now with this new administration that went, because the old ones were very anti-crypto. Mm. We went from very anti-crypto to very pro-crypto. So pro-crypto, the market doesn't know how to, doesn't know how to respond to it, right?
How to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a big shock, I guess, to everyone when Trump, around the same time last year, was about to be elected, and then had his pro-crypto agenda. And since then, obviously, we've seen how that's impacted the markets. I mean, maybe not recently with the crash in the market, but what we are seeing is, I see this whole new Web 2 and Web 3 converging. So the old financial systems, which was run by the big institutions in the US, is now converging with the decentralized world in a way that is unprecedented. And our expectation is that at the block, we're seeing that trillions and trillions of dollars between now and 2030, and some people estimate it to be around $30 trillion worth of assets being tokenized. So that's going to create hopefully a lot of new opportunities. So how do you see that institutional shift in crypto?
I mean, I don't know if this is a fact, we'll have to check it, but I heard that now Michael Saylor is no longer the biggest holder outside of Satoshi. Now it's the institutions. So I really feel like as they're getting in, they're getting their bags. Countries are getting their bags. El Salvador just made the biggest Bitcoin purchase of all time, just I think last week on this dip. So, I've interviewed on Twitter Charles Hoskinson's a few times, and to me, Charles is one of the brilliant minds in crypto. He was co-founder of Ethereum. And I recently caught him on an interview, and this was on, I republished it through American Faith in in my column, America on Chain. I write a column now, by the way. I'm a
You're
writer.
a writer.
I did never expect that I would be a writer.
You're a legitimate writer.
I guess, right? So I just try. I'm trying to add value where I can, but yeah. So Charles said that this administration and Trump is giving crypto a rib-crushing hug, but it's crushing the ribs. It's just because it's just so different now in comparison that the market has to adjust, and so it's just taking some time. And he believes the Clarity Act, I think it's called the Clarity Act, Q1, will be such a huge change for the world that basically the bull run as we know that it's going to come might have been delayed or might be adjusted. The world is adjusting and shifting towards this regardless. It's just that rib-crushing hug that Trump has given crypto is just a different, completely different mentality than what was before. But I totally believe, and I'm still very extremely bullish, that crypto will continue to grow, will continue to be adopted, and like how people regret getting into Bitcoin at 10,000 now that it's at 100,000, they will regret not getting in at 100,000 when it's 1 million. So there will be a time, and it will not just be crypto. And I know Bitcoin. I know some Bitcoiners do not like that statement, but it's a fact. Like that's why I love being here, because even though the market is turning every single day in the UAE, I see somebody building something with some genius idea that has to do with the blockchain, that has to do with helping. Like there's just so many applications when it comes to crypto and Web3 that I think it's going to revolutionize, speed up, and just go along with AI. I think it's going to be a complement to AI. And there's no way the old legacy system can keep up.
I think Larry Fink recently said in one of his panels, he was like, I don't understand why it's taking so long for people to tokenize stuff, because everything should have been tokenized by now.
Right.
Because it provides so much value. You create liquidity into the markets, you enable secondary trade, you enable those tokens to actually put into yield-bearing protocols. So there's so many layers and financial instruments that you now have access to when previously it was inaccessible. And I guess this is what interests us at the Block, really. Like we try to be that hub and be that epicenter for anyone that wants to tokenize anything. But I'm curious to know, like you being over in the US, I know you've been looking to move to the UAE. Why is that? Like, why would you make that move? Because now with Trump and everything happening over in the US, there should be a lot of stuff happening there, right? So what is it that excites you about this part of the world?
I still think the UAE is definitely a few steps ahead when it comes to crypto and the builders that are here, but it's changing rapidly, and that's the point. I think Trump has been teasing zero capital gains tax on any crypto companies that are building here in the US. So there's a lot to happen. There's a lot of growth that has not come. So like Larry Fink was talking about, that we're behind on this, that it should have been way more advanced. That to me is an opportunity to build. So the builders, the engineers, all these people that want to build in this space, it's not too late. Obviously we're seeing the price and we're seeing the growth slightly suppressed at the moment. I'm not gonna go into whether it's how manipulated or not. All I know is good things are happening, and now is the time to build. I'm extremely bullish on the future of America. It was very scary for a time. It was very, very scary for a time, but then Trump got elected. He is cleaning up some of the messes from the prior administration. I like to say the least, messes. It was getting very bad and getting very dangerous, where you just have to look over your shoulder. With the UAE, you don't have to look over your shoulder. You could just build. You can just build, you can just do your thing, and you can just be here. And I've always had a heart for this place. I love how future-driven they are. I love they even have a minister of happiness or something. Like, it's just incredible. Like,
we have a minister of happiness, minister of AI. There's a lot of stuff here that, is just one step ahead of everywhere else.
But I could totally see myself being here, let's say half the year and half the year back in the US, because I'm from the US and I care about the country, and I'm also advising Steve Hilton, who's running for governor of the state of California. And I also was helping Grant Cardone when he was thinking about that. But there was a time 2-3 years ago, Grant had Bitcoin prior, but he was never a real Bitcoin guy. And now he's partnered up with American Bitcoin, with Eric Trump, and Grant's all in. Like, he's got billions of dollars worth of property that he wants to tokenize. He's already doing one, I think, in Florida, massive property that has Bitcoin behind it. I believe earning yield. So how he structured that is pretty incredible. I want to learn more. But these are my friends, and I'm very excited about what's coming. You know, I know as we're recording this right now, the market is red, but I know it's not going to be red forever.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, AJ, I met you back in, I think 2021, 2022, still very early days, at least. Here in the Middle East market, we didn't really have a big community back then, and you come a long way since then. And you know, it's, first of all, I'm very proud of you. You know, seeing how you've grown into your role, using your talent to speak publicly, and helping now these big guys out with their campaigns, like Grant Cardone is a huge guy, or even, you know, Steve Hilton. These are this is not like small fish. So now, being in the room with these guys, what's the talk like? What is it that they're mostly excited about?
One thing you got to learn about those level people is they move at a pace, I would say, like a speed train. Like they will go and they will go and they will continue to go and they will not stop. So if they could see that you can go at that pace, if they could see that you don't disrupt their flow, if they could see what they're trying to build, if you could add value to what they're trying to build, they will work with you. They don't discriminate. They don't care like where you're from, what's going on. If you have the right heart and you could provide value, let's rock and roll. And so I have a long history of being around very interesting people, but it's been behind the camera, which I've enjoyed being behind the camera, which is, I would say, a little bit childish of not wanting to be in front if I feel like I should be in front. But now it's time to, obviously, and I've been doing it, you know, with different shows and in media. So the last couple of years, it's over. Cat's out of the bag. AJ's here. He's not going anywhere. And you played a big role. You know, you're the co-founder of ArtStyle. I know it's in good hands with Raheem, of course, another co-founder. And you guys, during a rough season of my life, I was building on X, but you guys knew who I was through X, and decided to include me with ArtStyle, and I partnered up and I emceed, and we were part of the ArtStyle Fest, first one, second one, and it's just been nonstop since then. So you played a big role, and I won't forget that.
We made you the first live AI avatar on stage, on a big stage. It was like a huge AI avatar that was speaking to the public while AJ was speaking simultaneously. It was really cool. I was like back then it was very groundbreaking, very innovative.
Yes.
It was when literally these AI avatars barely didn't even exist.
Yeah, I ended up, I believe, being the first AI avatar to live perform at a major event. And I had no idea it was going to be that big when you told me. You just literally asked, you and Maria literally asked me, hey, do you mind being the avatar? And I said, sure, like whatever, that can't be that hard. And then I show up and I'm on the big screen, and it's a copy of me. And then I have to be behind the screen, and I'm just doing the announcements, speaking, and it was incredible, man. I love anything future tech. I love anything like that. So like what you guys did, giving me those opportunities, I'll never forget.
So what's interesting about your career, AJ, I'm not sure I can say this, but you know, you started out as a security guy for big celebrities, right?
Sure.
You're still a strong guy, but you were like a proper American footballer. How much did you bench? This is like an insane number.
Okay, so I grew very fast when I was young. At the age of 15, I was basically this size, even bigger. I'd bench 500 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilos.
That's like 250 kilos.
Yeah. And at 15 years old, so I really should have gone pro in football, but I hurt my back. But yeah, no, I was also thinking about breaking the record at the NFL Combine, which at the time, 225 pounds, which are 2 big plates on each side. I did that just by training, just regular 37 times, and the record was 47 times. So in my early years, in my early 20s, I'm no longer in my 20s or 30s.
Even though he looks young.
I'm 42, but yeah, no, I have, I did do a lot of that, a lot of lifting and a lot of sports. I played all the sports. I was just an athlete. Basketball, baseball. I really enjoyed basketball and baseball, almost more so than football. Football was fun, but you know, when you're a big guy that wants to hold the ball, but you're too big and they put you in the line as a blocker, you know, you're a little pissed off. But
yeah, so what I wanted to get to was you started with that being like security for these guys, and now you're literally becoming their media channel in a way. You're becoming you're supporting them on public speaking, you're supporting with their campaigns. So doing that, what have you learned from these guys, like throughout your career? What is the one thing that you've taken?
I first saw a lot of the downsides of fame and the downsides of being that name and being how big, and the stress they had to deal with. And then I had to like slow down, and it was a blessing seeing it, like being able to see, everyone sees the glitz and the glamour and the cars and the planes and everything, but they don't see behind the scenes. I was behind the scenes since I was 21 years old. And so I've seen very good men fall. And usually it's because of greed, money, power, or women. Let's be honest, women. So we have to be careful. So I have done my best to keep my nose clean, as they say. And because that deposit that came inside me, the impartation of you, if you ever are going to be on the main stage or be a main guy, like take that serious. It's a responsibility. People will listen to your voice. And what took me over the edge was at Art Style Fest when we invited Zuby with a Z.
Yeah.
My guy. I love that guy.
But for those who don't know, can you explain who Zuby is?
Zuby Music. He's a impressive musician, artist, creative entrepreneur. Has a very strong voice. He's the voice of reason, really. And you know, he was educated in Saudi at an American school, but he's from the UK, and one of his biggest audiences, even though he's global, is in the US. I think because we were just dealing with such fake propaganda and so many lies, and he would be the voice that speaks out on, because not all of us have that size platform and not all of us have that megaphone. And it was like he was speaking on behalf of millions of people, and he deserves every follower he gets. He deserves every high five he gets. And who knows what his future will be, because he's still very young. Yeah. Who knows? He's such a good guy. So Zuby said something to me that hit me like a golden arrow, man, right in the forehead. Mm-hmm. When I was, I had just went number one on X with 300,000-400,000 live viewers a day on a stream, and I really wasn't excited about. I wasn't excited about becoming more public for the reasons that I told you, the negative sides of being public. Mm-hmm. And then he looked at me and said one time, literally in Art Style, told me, "Don't be stingy when you're with your gift." And so, when he told me that, it's obviously it's a blessing to be able to have an ability to reach out to people, to talk to people, to communicate, and it was through those big guys who I was around prior who taught me how to use my gift, and who taught me how to communicate, who taught me how to kind of be a light to folks versus being a burden on folks. So I'm going, I'm blessed, I'm happy, and I'm grateful to be around you still, and around the block and anything I can do. But I take it as a responsibility. I don't take it as a joyride just to show off and use my watch to make another person feel poor.
So on a kind of a final note, you're coming far away until now. In fact, you're going to be meeting with Eric Trump early December, which is about just around the corner.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks' time. I'm grateful for you extending an invite as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit my calendar, but that's very exciting. What do you hope to get out of that meeting, and what do you think is top of mind for Eric when it comes to crypto?
Eric is one of the most bullish people on crypto right now. I see him as an asset. I know he turned into a meme because every time it dips, he tweets "buy the dips," and that's a good thing to be a meme. If you're a meme in crypto, you made it in crypto. So you know it might not always be the funniest or whatever, but I think what he's building with American Bitcoin and World Liberty Financial is just the beginning. I could totally tell and see he's got some serious plans, and he is smart enough and he has the right to get market share in the industry that's only starting. And so I feel like I'm very excited. I don't know why anybody wouldn't be excited that the Trump family and a Trump organization is not supportive, is this supportive of crypto. I think it's only the beginning. So when I meet him, I've met Laura Trump, his awesome wife. Like, she's an incredible person, man. You get around her, you're like, whoa, that is an impressive human being. And I've met her at a gala in California, and come to find out, me and Eric kind of have the same pastor, a person we respect, and Pastor Phil. So he will be with him at a lunch, and I'll go meet them, and he'll be speaking at a conference, business conference with them during that time. I'll be there. And so I'm looking forward to meeting him because we do have some commonalities and just show support. And I guess the stuff we'll talk about is maybe the future of crypto. See where it's going. I know he's bullish, but I'd love to pick his brain a bit during lunch.
Awesome. Well, AJ, always a pleasure, and thank you so much for coming.
The Crypto Shake.
The Crypto Shake is back in the house.
That's the Crypto Shake.
Thank you for joining us here on the Block.
Thank you, brother.
And we will do a lot more together for the year to come. And we're really excited. We're just getting started. We're building the hub and ecosystem for digital assets out here in the Middle East. And we're starting with Dubai.
If I could say, that hub that you guys are building, that is one of the reasons why I'm here. This entire new facility that needs to be like that's exciting.
Yeah.
And I'll be there with the microphone, 100%.
It's yours.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much.